Building Strong New Zealand Muslim Families. FIANZ First Stakeholder Forum Report. Dr. Mustafa Farouk, FIANZ First Vice President and DAVA Coordinator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. According to the census figures of 2006, about 37,000 Muslims were resident in New Zealand from various ethnic backgrounds. These Muslims belong to different Islamic associations and trusts that are organised around 7 regional organisations throughout the North and South Islands of New Zealand. These regional organisations and associated trusts form the Federation of Islamic Associations of New Zealand, known as FIANZ.
Very historic day, having representatives of the Muslim community from all over New Zealand coming here to have the Stakeholders Forum, which is looking at how do you build stronger families in the Muslim community. That's something that's really important to all New Zealanders, that young people have a sense of being valued, have good guidance in their lives, that they do well in life, they don't get involved in drugs or crime. That's something that's relevant not just to Muslim families but to all New Zealand families, but because we have the imams here who are teachers and give guidance in the mosques, it's a very important topic to talk about, and I'm really pleased that we're having this, the first Muslim Stakeholders Forum here at the New Zealand Parliament.
This is in the heart of New Zealand politics, in the Parliament, and we should be all proud of it, and I am hopeful that we are able to do this in the future on an annual basis.
One of the roles of FIANZ is to engage various stakeholders on behalf of New Zealand Muslims in order to create an environment in which Muslims can live and practice Islam peacefully and be able to contribute to all aspects of the New Zealand society. As part of its effort to improve engagement with stakeholders, FIANZ recently introduced a yearly stakeholder forum.
Well, I think this in a way is a very historic occasion for this meeting to take place in Parliament. It's important because the way that the Muslim community in New Zealand will move forward is working together with other communities, and FIANZ has shown a lot of leadership in developing relationships with stakeholders, both government and non-government, other faiths, the Human Rights Commission, other community groups, and I think that that's the important key to developing a strong Muslim community in New Zealand, is to be a Muslim community that's secure in the wider New Zealand community.
I think for Muslim families, like all families, most families do really well. Some struggle at times and some don't work very well at all ever. And so it seems to me that for Muslim families and ethnic families, one of the strengths they have is their cultural values about supporting each other, about being there for each other, about looking after each other. But I think where we get lost is trying to work in a different society which is very materialistic. So I suppose what I've been trying to do today is to say to people that the most important thing we have is family, and that we need to invest time in it and we need to invest support.
Our focus is mainly on family. As you can see, currently the issue of whānau, youth and women, family violence are very hard to every New Zealanders. It affects also the Muslim community. So it is about time for us, from the Muslim leadership, to wake up to the reality of the issue and be part of the government's mainstream program and initiative so that our community can benefit in the program as well.
We want to see families strengthened, and particularly that we take pride being Muslim families, being very strong families, and this forum is supposed to provide a basis for developing stronger families, stronger children and mothers and fathers, so we can live in a more educated, we get some more education for our people and make sure that we interact with other communities, and that we make sure that we all live in a peace and a harmony.
I think that strong Muslim families in New Zealand is going to be increasingly important to us. What we have is a situation where our population currently is beginning to age. The number of Māori and Pacific children relatively will increase, and we will rely increasingly on migrant families and other communities who have joined us to actually be, if you like, creating our children and young peoples for the future. So I think what we face is a situation where increasingly both ethnic minority and also migrant families and also communities such as Muslim, religious communities such as Muslim communities will become far more important. The message that I think New Zealand needs to take on board is not only that it's inevitable and in good, in fact, but we will have to find ways to deal with the kind of diversity that our society will need to face and is currently facing actually. And we need to do that in a way which is mutually respectful.
I think it's a very positive gesture, very important for the Muslim community to share with a range of officials their perceptions of New Zealand, their concerns, and to make better known to officials how best they can help your community.
I think that it's very well done that they've organised this forum and that they're engaging with government, and it's important that that Muslim communities here, and particularly Muslim leaders, begin to understand more fully the environment that we're living in, what the government is doing, so that we can link into government programs and get the benefit for the Muslim communities to ensure that as communities, as families, that we're doing the best we can in this environment.
Building the bridge between the two communities, and policing is a big family. When you talk to police officers, we see ourselves as a big family. Building the bridge between our communities is fundamental. It's critical to our business.
Like, do you have any issues with the Muslim community here in this country?
Police doesn't have an issue with the Muslim community, but what we have seen is hate crimes, race-related offending, offending against mosques, and we've seen a number of offences where the Muslim community and other faith-based communities have been victims. And we represent, from a government perspective, the victims in this country. That's really, when you think about police, we investigate crime on behalf of victims and then represent those victims in forums such as court or in looking at restorative justice processes. We are the strong voice on behalf of victims. So when you are a victim as a community, we're there to represent you.
Well, I think it's very important that New Zealand policies ensure that all the communities in New Zealand, and of course it's an increasingly diverse spectrum of communities, all the communities feel part of the country and know what's expected of the citizen and know their own rights and what they're entitled to from government. So I think that this has been an excellent initiative on the part of FIANZ to put government in touch with this important community and to begin to have the sort of conversation that we can have to ensure that everybody feels part of this society and that we have a common commitment to ensuring good security, good integration, good family relationships in the country.
First of all, we're very pleased to be invited. We consider the Muslim community to be an important community within the wider New Zealand community, and we found the discussions very useful, and we're looking forward to working with the Muslim community more in the future.